What is up, Internet? This is Luke from Before Eternity Reviews, and I'm here finally with the Mega Construx Halo UNSC Falcon Sweep. It's been years, it's been ages since we last got a Falcon in a Mega Construx Halo set. In fact, the last time we got one was back when they were known as Mega Blocks. I think that was the year 2013 was when we got the Flood Hunters Falcon set, or whatever its official name was. But that was the last Falcon set that we got all the way back in 2013. And now it's 2022 and we have a brand new Falcon to come out with all of Noble Team. And of course, the Falcon is a vehicle that only appeared in Halo Reach. It may have been cut content in other games because I know they have been able to get the Falcon into the Halo Infinite Forge. But I don't really know what's going on there. I just know that I've seen it in some other places. But as we all know, it's mainly from Reach. And if you don't really know what a Falcon is, it is basically like a warthog, but in the sky. It has the propellers and everything. I mean, we'll take a look at it later. I'm not just going to dangle it in front of the camera like that. But I mean, you can fit people inside. There's turrets. You can have a pilot. In Reach multiplayer, you can also fly it around and get all your friends inside. And it's just like a really fun experience in a video game. But as I'm sure most people know, this thing is incredibly difficult to obtain right now. I got really lucky and it came back into stock on Amazon for who knows how short of a time. I just checked it one day and it was there for $140, which is way overpriced because it's supposed to be retailing at $80, which is ridiculous, but it's understandable. I mean, it's all of Noble Team. And remember, I mean, like, you get Carter. And remember how expensive Carter is? The Halo Heroes version of him? Like, that's just for one figure. And that's already, like, what? That was $200-something, I think. And then now you've got him, all the rest of Noble Team, and one set with a Falcon, which we haven't got in, I guess, over 9 years. And it's all from Halo Reach, and it just all culminates into what's going to end up being, like, the most sought-after Mega Construx set ever made. So without further ado, before we take a look at the figures and the builds themselves, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So we have quite a bit going on with this set's box. Of course, it is a fairly large box. We've got the Mega Construx and Halo logo, and then we have this beautiful box art. Just soak that in. I'm just happy to have the box, really. I mean, you get a good view of all the figures. You get a really nice background of Reach. I've always loved the sky boxes that were used in the game. They always look really beautiful. And of course, we've got all the figures kind of shown in more detail on the side right here. We got the Halo Universe logo, UNSC Falcon Sweep. We can see that the set has 748 pieces, recommended for ages 8 and up. And over on the side, we've actually got a bunch of stuff on the sides of the boxes. Here's just like a little view of the set. And then we've got the figures kind of on display here again, which looks really nice with the Halo Universe logo. On the bottom, we just got all of that stuff that no one cares about. And then on the side, we have another view of the set. This, I believe, is a screenshot taken from the game. Well, it's an imitation of the screenshot. It's obviously not literally from the game, but it is on, I guess, the back of the case of the physical copy of Halo Reach, because I do have it right here. And as you can see, that's kind of the same image that's going on right there, trying to fit it into the screen of the camera. But yeah, that's basically the same image that we have going on right there. And then on the top of the box, we get a view of Carter and of Cat, and then the Mega Construx Halo logo again. Taking a look at the back of the box, we got a lot more going on. We can see all the figures, their names, and their accessories. And trying not to, like, knock the figures over. But we get another really nice, some more really nice box art going on here. Of course, we got the Mountains of Reach in the background. All the figures and everything. You do have some other sets that you can get in this wave or whatever. I don't even know if they're waves anymore. So we have the Arbiter's Quest set, which I did a review on, and then we've also got one of the helmets, which I don't have that one. I only have the infection one. And you may think that's all for the box, but actually there's more. Once you open it up, it is just empty on the inside. There's only just cardboard in there. But on the sides right here, there's kind of like another layer, and we have more replicated screenshots from the game. I believe those are trying to imitate kind of shots from that winter contingency cutscene, one of the first cutscenes in the game when you're flying over towards the first mission. And then on the other side, we have the main cover of the game, which, as you can see, we got the same thing going on here, which looks really nice. And that about does it for the packaging, so let's finally go ahead and take a look at the figures. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at Carter first. He is, of course, the leader of Noble Team. For his accessory, he comes with a DMR. We do get some gray paint on the mold right there, and then we do have the scope, but it is kind of inaccurate because the scope from the Halo Reach DMR is a lot more round instead of this rectangular shape, which I believe is supposed to be from Halo 5. So a little bit of inaccuracy there, but it's whatever. And then the rest of the figure is looking pretty good. We, of course, get all the proper details we need. All the figures in this set are like on the Halo Heroes level of detail, which is really nice. And so, I mean, we've got paint-ups on the shoulder right there. We've got paint-ups on the legs. We've even got everything on the chest piece and the helmet. I mean, you got pretty much everything you need here. I don't want to just go into too much detail about everything. Like, oh, there's a line on that piece of armor. I mean, like, you see it on the camera. But yeah, I mean, that's Carter right there, and he's looking pretty good. Every single figure does come with one of these stands, which, I mean, is kind of usual for Mega Construx sets these days. Most figures always get a stand. But that was Carter. And next up, we have Kat. Her accessory, we do have the Magnum, and it's just got a white stripe up on the top right there. Of course, she does have her robotic arm, which does not have articulation. I was kind of surprised. I've never gotten a Cat figure before, and we only have the swivel at the elbow right here. It does not go up and down. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's whatever. And of course, we have all the paint apps and everything. Even on the helmet, on that attachment, we've got a little bit of gray up at the front right there. The visor looks great. The whole figure just looks really great. We've got those red triangles right there, as well as on the back. And moving on to Noble 6. This is the most basic of the figures here because he just has that base Mark 5B armor. Because that's Noble 6's canonical armor design, is just this. Even though you can customize him in the Halo Reach campaign for his accessory, we just got a Halo Reach assault rifle with a white line up at the top right there. He's got those blue lights on the armor, the knife painted, of course, and the visor does look really good on this figure with the black border around it. And he does have these shoulder pads, which aren't 100% accurate, but you can't really have like a no shoulder pad attachment for a Mega Construx figure. You could just take it off, but then that kind of looks strange. But, you know, technically Noble 6 doesn't really have those shoulder pad attachments. And then, of course, this is not the version where he has the attachment on the helmet. Mega Construx has only done the version without that, because, I mean, Noble 6's helmet, I mean, it can have the attachment, it can be without the attachment. I don't know, it's confusing. They don't, like, Bungie or 343 never really clarify on that, but I guess it's either one. And then we do have some paint apps on the leg right there, just to bring out some detail. And so that about finishes it up for Noble 6. And now we move on to George, which for me is maybe the least exciting figure here, because I already have two other George figures. And so basically what I've got here is on the far left right here, we have the Halo Heroes version of George. In the middle, we've got the Falcon Sweep version. And then over on the right, we have, I believe it is the 2015 version that comes in, I don't know, it's a set where it's basically just like a UNSC truck that you would just find laying around on Reach. They made a set of that, and it came with drones and a blue JFO Spartan. If you look it up, you'll find the set eventually, but it's that one set. And that was my first George figure, and I do like it quite a bit, but it does not have near as much detail as the Halo Heroes or Falcon Sweep version. The Falcon Sweep version is slightly inaccurate because if you can see on the face plate part of his helmet, it is gray, and when it comes to accuracy, the Halo Heroes version is more accurate on that because it is supposed to just be green. But you'll kind of see that a little bit with the rest of the figures in this set where there's some weird details on them that aren't entirely accurate. And I think Mega may have known that and they just wanted to have exclusive versions of the figures for this set since we already have figures that came in the, I think it was the 20th anniversary figure pack. That came out recently. We got Carter and Emil in that, and then we've also got two previous sets of Noble Team, like the 2015 version, like with this George right here, which I believe was 2015. It could have been another year around that time. And then we also had all of the Halo Heroes Noble Team figures, and I think they just kind of wanted to make the Falcon Sweep versions of Noble Team a little bit exclusive, just so they can be more special. I can't really find another reason for wanting to change around some details on there. But, I mean, even if there are some inaccuracies, all the figures still look great. This version of George is pretty awesome, even with the inaccurate helmet. I still think it looks really cool. We, of course, now have the silver paint apps on the gauntlets and everything. And I just have him holding his machine gun with one hand right now. But we do have an orange paint app up on the top of it right there. He, of course, has his backpack. And you just turn him all the way around, and he's looking pretty good. The only thing that is a little bit different is the yellow is not there below the canister. Usually it would, but now it's just green. I don't know if that's more accurate, but I guess I'll figure that out eventually. Next up, we do have June. And this is probably my favorite figure of the set, just because I think June may have my favorite armor design off of Noble Team. I just love the Scout helmet from Reach, as well as kind of like the ghillie suit around the top of the armor right there, and just all the rest of the armor pieces look really great. We've got some gold printing right there, and some blue, and some kind of more bronze gold there for those sniper rounds. And we've also got a black knife printed right there, along with the blue. And with his sniper rifle, it's kind of the same thing as the DMR, where there's a little bit of gray and a little bit of black, just so it's not all the same color. And then, of course, we do have the part of the ghillie suit around the top of the armor right there, and it is a slightly lighter green color, just so you can differentiate it from the rest of the armor. Of course, we got a black wire going through it from that device, which is pretty cool. I just love all the details on these figures. And the helmet, I believe, is a slightly more accurate version than what we've gotten before, so that's good. And of course, this just looks really great. Got nothing bad to say about it. And last but not least, we have Emil. Of course, he has a shotgun, which once again, it's just gray and black. He's also got a knife, which does have some gray paint painted along the edge right there, but otherwise it's all in the same color. Of course, he's got all the shotgun shells across his armor, which I believe they're shotgun shells. I don't think they're grenade shells. Well, actually, they could be. I don't know, because they are slightly large. I don't know exactly what they are, but I mean, we know it's some sort of projectile rounds. We do have the paint apps on his shoulder pad right there, looking really great. And across the rest of the armor, we got a red stripe on his thigh armor right there. And some more paint apps on the other shoulder pad. Of course, he has the skull on the helmet, which looks pretty good. And man, I mean, it's good to finally get an Emil figure. I hadn't had most of the Noble Team figures, and so it's just really nice to have them because they're my favorite Spartans. But that's basically all of the figures in this set. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. So we do have this little piece of terrain with some sandbags on there. We've also got a fusion coil or a power cell. I don't know exactly what those are called, but I mean, you see them all the time throughout the games. But yeah, it's basically just a little piece of terrain. You can set up some figures on there, June with a sniper or whatever. So I guess it's nice to have that. And then we also have a UNSC crate inside. You can open it up, and there's a couple of grenades in there that you can give to some figures if you want. Alright, so I'm going to try and go over all the details on this Falcon in somewhat of a timely manner. Of course, we do have the cockpit. You can open up the cockpit, fit a figure inside, although it is a bit of a tight fit. It should still work out. You do have two control sticks right here. You've got a control panel right there. It is a print. There are no stickers in this set. You can close the cockpit up. It just connects with those studs. You also get a turret beneath the cockpit, which can rotate around, although it is kind of weird because it can't be in just like one exact position. Like, it'll just want to move either like there or there. It's hard to get it positioned like 100% exactly in the middle, but you can get it there. And it also goes up and down. You do have prints alongside the cockpit right there, the UNSC logo, some yellow arrow line things. And I don't know if these red dots are supposed to be lights or just some other decal, but they are there. You've got 23 printed on the side right there. Of course, now you've got the troop bay on the inside, and it is kind of dark in there, so hopefully you can see good enough. There are 3 passenger seats, and then you have 1 seat kind of on the outside on each side with those gun turrets. You've got those silver grates on the floor on the inside, so you just got some extra detail. And there is a little bit of greebling in between the seats just for extra detail and stuff like that, so it isn't just bricks. And when it comes to these gun turrets, it may look like you have a joint right here, but really that one doesn't work, and it's just going to break if you try and move it. But with this one, you can move it in and out, and then you can also kind of do the same thing with the other one here. You can get it to rotate a bit, and then it can go up and down. Although this whole gun turret thing is honestly kind of annoying, even though it looks nice, and you can get the figure to hold it. The whole troop bay part of this set is very annoying. You can get figures in all of the seats, like it can happen, but it is incredibly annoying. I was trying to do it, and I just gave up because you can't see anything in there, and it's hard to get your fingers in there so you can get the figure kind of in on the peg, because they have that hole in their back, and each seat has a peg, and you're supposed to peg in the figure to that seat so they stay in there, instead of like with a Lego figure where you can just literally attach them. But that's really the main thing that I do not like about Mega Construx figures, is that it's difficult to get them to sit down on a surface. You literally have to peg their back into a seat like that, and in a small space like that, it is incredibly annoying. You can get it to happen, but the roof here of the Falcon doesn't really come off in a convenient way. You just have to like rebuild it, and I'm not dealing with that. So, I mean, once again, you can get the figures in there, but it is going to be a big hassle. And while it does look good, they all fit in there pretty snug. It's just an insanely annoying experience. You also get more prints along the kind of tail fins. Right here, there's just a 23, and I guess a Falcon logo. And then you've got the same thing on the other side. If you notice, you also have green lights on this side of the Falcon, and then you have the red lights on the other side, which is pretty cool. When it comes to the gun turret on the other side, it is the same thing, so there's nothing really to go over there. It is, pretty symmetrical aside from the color of the lights. You do get another print up on the kind of propeller section. I don't know exactly what to call this, but you get that print right there, and you can get the propellers to move around like this. Of course, they can spin on their own. There is no mechanism to spin them together or anything like that. You just have to do it manually. And really, I guess it's not like a little play set thing like what you would get with a Lego set. With Mega Construx, usually, like if they're going to do a vehicle, it's like you can put figures in there, and that's it. It's really just going to be for display. And I mean, most of the time you do get projectile shooters and stuff like that, but it seems like for this they've opted to go a bit more of a display set kind of route because there are no shooters on here. There's just the machine guns and that's it. And of course they don't shoot anything because they're just builds. So really it's fine because it does look amazing. I mean, here's a good side profile. I mean, you have to admit it looks really nice. And there is a top-down view of the top of the Falcon. As you can see, there's a good mixture of studded and smooth surfaces. I really like that about this set, where it looks like it is straight out of the game, but at the same time, it looks like a actual build made out of bricks. So you get like the best of both worlds. And that's one thing that I really love about Mega Construx sets is that you usually have models like this that just end up looking beautiful. But you can still tell that like they are made of bricks, so you don't lose that kind of aspect of it. You also get more yellow prints up at the top of the engines right there. And that's basically it for the top of the set. I go ahead and turn it over, you can get a look at the bottom. It's just anti-studs and stuff like that, nothing crazy. You do have the landing gear, of course, which just goes up and down like that. You've also got this landing gear here beneath the troop bay, kind of beneath the machine gun turrets, and it's just this kind of one piece that's molded in this shape. I don't know what to call it. I'm just trying to find words, but I guess there's that. And really, that's kind of gonna be it for the build. I went over pretty much everything. I'll just go ahead and try and get a closer look at the actual build so you can see what's going on with that. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about like the individual pieces and like how they use them in certain areas. I mean, you can just see that it looks really good. In terms of the building experience, with a Mega Construx set, it's not going to be as fun to build as a Lego set, at least not in my opinion, because it's just not as smooth or as curated as an experience. And for some reason, Mega Construx keeps wanting to build stuff upside down, and it gets really annoying. But other than that, it is a great looking set, and it was a decent enough time to put together. Well, that pretty much does it for the actual build of the set. Of course, it's a beautiful looking Falcon. I almost said fountain. But of course, it looks amazing, and a lot of that has to do with the shaping that they did with the pieces, and just, I don't think it's maybe it is the greebling. I'm not super familiar with all those terms, but I mean, the shaping that they did with the pieces and the way that they just made it kind of come alive, and it feels like it's right out of the screen, right out of the game. The biggest flaw I would say here is just the interior space and trying to get the figures seated. It's really a horrible experience, and I'm probably never going to try and do it again. And I think it's better to just have the figures displayed out, standing outside of the vehicle, because I mean, they're really good looking figures and you kind of want them displayed. And so I feel like that's the better way to go. Though it is kind of a shame because the Falcon is a really iconic vehicle, and you have a lot of really important moments where you have Noble Team sitting inside the troop bay and, like just watching stuff happen or going through a mission or, flying over a battlefield, And so I wish that it was easier to get them in there, even if it's just like, I don't know, to take some pictures or something, because they look nice when they are all set up in the troop bay. But I do think that is one big issue with this set. Other than that, I mean, it's perfect. You get everything you need. You've got great accessories for all the figures. All the figures have great paint apps and they look amazing. You've even got some extra terrain and a crate. For the retail price of $80, I mean, that's really good. But I don't think it's going to be possible to be able to pay that price anymore. It's going to be a lot more expensive, which is unfortunate. But another thing, I mean, yeah, it's bad that it becomes rare and people can't get it and stuff like that, but at the same time, for people who do have it, I mean, it does make it a more valuable part of the collection, you know what I'm saying? And so obviously it's bad when something becomes super expensive and super rare and there's scalpers and everything, but I mean, it's all a noble team with a Falcon, you know, I mean, it was just bound to happen. So I really don't have that much more to say about this set. Once again, it's great. It is really awesome to be getting a Falcon again, to finally be getting all of Noble Team in one set. So, you know, you just knock it out all in one go. Don't have to worry about it again. It's one of those things that you buy. It's one of those parts of your collection that just kind of like you look at it and it makes you feel like warm inside. Like that's something that you feel proud to have. And usually when it like that's the only stuff that I try to buy, even though I still have like a bunch of crap that doesn't actually make me feel that way. I don't know. I'm basically just rambling on at this point, and I need to just end the video, but that was basically it for the Mega Construx Halo UNSC Falcon sweep. It's an amazing set. Definitely get it if you can find it for a decent price out there, because I don't think it's going to be getting any cheaper, unfortunately. Hopefully they have some restocks. I don't know if they will, but as you know with Mega Construx, I mean, with something like this, it may not go back into stock again, and it may just be like this forever, which is really bad, but we've seen it happen before. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I will see you guys in the next one.